I think it's the unknown. My partner, myself, Richard Scott, a well-known South African artist, started chatting about how we're going to prepare for this race, and what the possible route might be. And there's so many sort of questions that are unanswered, and obviously will be revealing themselves over the next couple of months. It's the unknown that's actually quite exciting, and that's really probably one of the reasons why I've entered the race. I really want to finish in the given time. I think just the trying to break your head, or trying to get your head around 200 kilometers a day off-road, and that's without sort of weather conditions, as we know, without any technical issues, and just with getting through that kind of a distance every day. I think getting your head around it is one thing, but as soon as there's technicals or there's bad weather, then the whole game changes. So those things you'll never know. So you've got to be strong enough to get through. I'm riding with Richard Scott, very well-known South African artist, and become a good mate through cycling, and we have the same coach, Erica Green, which was another one of the reasons why we would ride together. Why Richard? Interesting character, very, very strong kop, if I can say that in good South African terms, and a very strong rider. We have a good understanding of each other's strengths and abilities. We had this discussion, and I think we'd make a good team. I don't think Richard's personality has any sort of weak points. Myself, on the other hand, if I start getting technicals and start getting impatient, he's the kind of guy that will just shut you up and calm you down. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy, and that's the kind of thing that I need to be riding with for sure. I think trying to get your head around 200 kilometers a day, and probably riding when it's cooler at night, depending on weather. That's something else that you would have to negotiate. I've done obviously with riding of the Epic and various other races, you do maybe 130 kilometers a day and so forth. But the fact that there's no real sort of finish line. The finish line is right at the end, and it's not a day-to-day race. You've got to try and get your head around 5 days rather than 1 day at a time. And I think essentially that's the issue, is to wake up in the morning, whether it's 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and say to yourself, okay, now we've got to get through the next 200 k's or 250 k's if you start falling behind. And it's going to be a mind game, I think, more than anything. I think my body is certainly ready for it, and that's probably why I'm going to do it this year, is because I'm probably in the best shape of my life. So we'll just have to see how the head goes. Not really, but obviously listening to Alex talk and sort of trying to get your head around not riding, in the heat of the day and to preserve yourself. My sort of first sort of thinking would be to break the day into segments, rather than to try and ride 200 kilometers in one go. So probably maybe to break it into two pieces, where you ride when it's a little bit cooler for maybe 5 or 6 hours, and then sleep for a couple of hours, and then ride again, and probably break it up like that. The tricky thing with that is that in between all of that, you might pass through one of your sort of resting points, if you want to call it that, and not need it. So then what then? You carry on riding, and then sleep on the side of the road, and you carry sleeping bags with you. I haven't even got my head around that, So a lot of sort of questions unanswered, but obviously through time, over the next couple of months, we'll get to understand it better. I think food is key. I've been messing around with a couple of portables with the guys on the mini Mungas and so forth, and chatted to some of the possible riders over the last few weeks. And I think to have good nourishment over the trip is going to be probably one of the most important things. Over and above that, making sure that obviously we carry the right spares and not too much stuff. I remember riding a few races with a whole derailleur in my back pocket and things like that, because I've heard so many horror stories about derailleurs, and my mechanical skills are not that great. So yeah, I've got to decide exactly what it is that could possibly go wrong, and that's sort of the strategy and the things that need discussing over the next, who's going to carry what. It's nice that you ride with a partner, so you can split things up, and it's highly unlikely, touch wood, that the same thing go wrong with both bikes. And the other issue, of course, is that we ride different bikes, so essentially we're going to have to be carrying our own stuff. So yeah, interesting question. Over and above that, I don't really know what else I'll be carrying with me. No. As we stand at the moment, I'm riding the Cannondale Sculpel. I feel very comfortable on the bike, and again, it's so difficult because you don't really know the route. If you think Bloemfontein to Cape Town, you think long roads. Yes, district roads and everything, but you think long roads, and that's my fear, because that's not my strength. I'm a small guy, small legs, and I'm going to have to be holding on to Richard's butt for most of the way, if it is that way. As we get closer to the Cape, it'll get a bit more technical, and I think that's where the Sculpel comes into itself. It's just an incredible bike technically. I also have an option on a wheeler that we're getting in the end of November, beginning of December, so possibly that. But as we stand at the moment, the Cannondale Sculpel, yeah. Definitely not fully rigid. Don't think my body will take it. Hardtail, I'm really enjoying. I have a hardtail, a GT Chazang, old bike from a mate of mine, JP Pearton, who used to race, and it's the bike that I started riding a year ago, and probably the bike I enjoy the most. It's so responsive. I just get a bit worried when it gets a bit bumpy in those long roads, and so I'm thinking that I'm going to need all the grace that I can on my butt. So I'm thinking full suspension, yeah. But yeah, again, close to the time I might change my mind. No, there's no chance. So prize money is, obviously is phenomenal. But yeah, no, look, I think the prize money has never really been, never actually came into the equation at all, obviously, for obvious reasons. I know that the Carl Platz is riding, and I know some of the other top guys that stand good chance to win. So that's never really been an option for me. Underdog prize, yeah, maybe, who knows. But no, to be honest, no, I can't say that I've ever really thought of it. No. Don't underestimate the Karoo. Yeah, look, it gets exceptionally cold, it gets exceptionally hot, so I don't think you quite know what you're in for. It does change, the weather changes from day to day, so and if you get wind in the Karoo, you're going to get wind in the Karoo. You get that icy wind. Look, it's highly unlikely. It is summer, but the wind could be there, but it probably won't be icy. So I think the weather in the Karoo is one thing. I think what you can look forward to, let's not use this as a warning, what you can look forward to is an incredible camaraderie. These mountain bike races, especially these stage races and things. This is not a stage race, but this is a race where you're surrounded by guys that are like-minded, and the camaraderie and the help along the way. And if you need anything, so don't worry about that. South Africans are good that way. We're always out there to help.